Hold on 1 second now. This separate card.
Hey, y'all, if you just not tuning in, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, man. We got SikApe in the Northgate. We're going to take questions, get some of y'all questions from the crowd, man, so we can, take some of the questions y'all might have. And I got a couple questions for Rod to start it out, and then we'll take questions from y'all. So if you're just not tuning in, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you share it. And we're going to crack heads and twist caps, man. You already know how Rod do it. We picking the lock here. We going through the time machine, and we piecing the puzzle together. Most of my questions is stimulated around. We're gonna get to your questions, Sugar Shane. Hey, most of my questions is stimulated around what's going on now. Hey, Rod. So you left off while Japan said that they don't want to take no money from U.S. dollars no more. Nobody wants the U.S. dollar for that matter.
Well, that was before BRICS.
Go ahead.
Japan is trying to outcompete in productivity and quality products. Hold on. Let's show you something. I was working at GM. They was telling us about this guy, to start doing research on him. His name is Dr. Deming, and he came up with this quality program for productivity, quality, what they call quality control measures. The Japanese, when Ford, Chrysler, GM turned him down and said they didn't want to hear it. So because he was already an auto executive, he was going on a trip to Japan. He presented it to the Japanese auto manufacturers. This is where your Lexus come from, your Lexus and your Infiniti. So when he presented it to them, they was like, that's the key, because if you go back to before the 70s and even in the 70s, when you seen something that has a stamp on it said made in America, you knew you had some top of the line A1 best made stuff on the planet. Don't nobody do it like us. But now we doing everything using cheaper material, shortcutting the labor to maximize profits, and it's making the products crap. So they stick to the quality dynamic. So they stealing our reputation by stealing our quality productivity ratio that we used to maintain, right? That's the difference in the architecture of old and the architecture of today. Some of these buildings is 20,000, 30,000, 50,000, 100,000 years old. They look like they was built 200 years ago. And some of these new buildings been around 30, 40 years. They look like it's time to tear them down. Right?
That's facts. Hey, now that, this is my next question for you, because we got Trump in there. He rolling out the plan. Well, people say, he went down by paying 2025, but it seemed like to me he rolling it right out, straight out the gate. Now, this real ID thing, you heard anything about that? Because I looked it up and it said May 7th that they'll be rolling out this real ID. And
the real ID came out in 2010. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but it said they had a mandate on there. I looked it up. I think it was 20.
Go look up what a mandate. You got Google on your
law. Yeah, mandate not a law. I know mandate not a law. Law or request, a mandate or ordinance, a code, none of that. You know what I'm saying? We can get into that if you for my Morris. But I'm saying,
we went over what a mandate is, and I know a lot of the sisters been around for a minute. They don't want no mandate.
They don't want no mandate. All right, we'll go to the next question. So my next question is, because people was asking, because I'm really going off the questions that the people asked in the recent shows. When Ron come back on asking this. Now, since Trump coming back in and he returning and kind of like returning it to the people, what does Mama Rabbit with her allodial title and everything? How does that play with all the empresses on the land and the ones that did claim certain things like the Washita tribe. I think it's shout out Empress Wendy.
So
Wendy
right
is,
now we don't have we know where all of the tribal leadership is located at, coming through military channels as part of the continuity of government. This is how they know who to watch for the oral tradition, who to watch, who to surrender paperwork to. The loyalty title don't mean anything to the tribes over here amongst us. The allodial title is Europe's method of keeping track of what they steal and who stole it and when it was stolen, because they got to give it back. Them giving her the title was just letting them know that y'all, the gig is up, y'all got us. Here's the receipt to show you that you got us. Right? It's the same with the first charter of the Bar Association that tell us that they told them to use the court system to take everything from us. And that's why we can't hardly win no court foreclosures on no fraudulent mortgages. It's all trickery, deception, fraud, 120 degrees of tricknology. Strike the shepherd and scatter the flock. Take the leaders out of in front of the people, and the people be perpetually confused. We ain't confused no more. We know that y'all took our leaders. We know that y'all holding them hostage. I'm not saying they criminals. I'm not saying that they did something wrong for you to put them in prison, because we was at war. And when you at war, you required to do some things that you wouldn't do if you was in peacetime. And if you take away the warrior's right to fight, defend the freedom of the people, you take away the right of the people to have freedom. So we know where they at. We know how you misled them. We know how you caught them when they was young, before they knew who they was, so that you can have them in your custody. You messed around and let one out the cracks.
Right.
You let one of the chiefs out the cracks, and I'm telling all of y'all government business, because once these sisters get it on the gossip circle and these babies understand how it work, y'all screwed. It don't matter what y'all do with me at this point. The babies got it now, Elder.
That's right. Hey, that's what the mission was, get the kids. Hey, this is my next question, because bringing up kids and, parenthood and things, Trump is going after guys with a child support system. Could you go in on how that system been rigged? Because I heard you a little bit before.
The child support system is what you call arbitrary operations. The friend of the court is not what people think it is. The friend of the court is supposed to be an independent person that carries the significant fact underlying to the elements of truth in the case, and they don't want to take sides with the prosecutor or the defense. They just need the court to know that this piece of information has been looked over, and I'm the only one that got it. I'm going to give it to you, and you do with it what you will. I'm coming as the friend of the court. It has nothing to do with child support. Child support, the Supreme Court of the state arbitrarily creates a collection team, a collection agency, and they insert the collection agency under the responsibilities of friend of the court. Right? Now remember, friend of the court use arbitration, they don't use adjudication. When they call you in for your child support, you got to go before a retired judge. Right? You don't go to court, family court, where juvenile procedures and divorces take place. It's a whole separate building, because they don't have nothing to do with the court. It's an arbitrary collection agency. And there's nowhere written in the universe where you in debt because you gave birth or allowed a woman to be pregnant. There's nowhere in the universe. They can't never validate that debt using the Fair Debt Collection Act. The problem is they don't give a damn about your rights. You don't have any. Right? And because they don't have, they say we don't have any rights, and that ain't just us melanated, that's anybody that go in front of a judge in the courtroom. You don't have rights. Because you're not under the Constitution, you're under the Admiralty Uniform Commercial Code of Banking. You're not even in the same nexus and venue of judicial order that you supposed to be under for violating the laws of the land. And don't say they don't got tribal courts. They all over the place. We just don't use them because we don't know no better. Tribal courts ain't never left.
Well, brother, that's getting. I heard a lot of different stories, crazy stories that I couldn't even believe that the court would go along, that keep on doing it. But it comes to find out, they said that's $1 billion in some industry, over $1 billion industry a year, stealing money from parents, like, you know, with that child support system. It's $1 billion industry. So
more than that,
it's
more than that.
Yeah,
a lot of
the exact number, but it was high. That number was high as hell. That they told me, I almost fell out my chair when they said, "Damn, and they said that they make most of the money, like to pay out certain agents within that branch. Like they are, it's like a big Ponzi scheme, big hustle, pretty much, because they only give like 10-20% of the money they collect to the kid.
For a woman to put you on child support, that's the same as calling the police saying you committed a crime that you didn't commit.
Damn. I ain't look at it like that. That's right.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
That's all it is that's part of the feminist movement. That came out of the feminist movement. Most of us don't know. It's a book called Fatherless America. Everybody need to get it. Before the 1950s, the children were traditionally left with the breadwinner, which was normally the father.
Right.
Children didn't start being left with the mother until in divorces and separations, until they came out with something called government assistance. The government assistance was part of the tearing down of the families.
That's right.
Right. So you giving people the right to keep the child away from the other parent. That's not a right. Nobody had a right to keep the child from the other parent. That's not a right.
Right.
Right. The way that you deal with that is you have a family council. Normally it's 3 or 4 women from his side of the family, 3 or 4 women from her side of the family. And then they watch y'all while y'all interact with the children. Mm-hmm. And the most functional parent is the one supposed to have a child. If he a lazy slob, don't want to work, sit at home, play video games all day, he can't take care of no babies. Right? But if he get up, he go to work, you know what I'm saying, got a good network of friends that helps him, he can take care of him just as well as she can.
Right.
Right? And it's the same with her. If she sit on the couch eating bonbons, watching soap operas all day, and the house look like a tornado hit it for no reason, then that's defeating the purpose of why she at home. Right? And if everybody have a role to play in the family structure, then everybody's supposed to play their role. The way that the system is designed to take that ability for each member of the family to play their role. Right? We used to have aunties come get the babies for the weekend because mama know where they at. They with her sister, they straight.
Right.
You don't do that no more. Because the aunties now marrying some guys with unsavory characters because they forgot how to vet a man.
That's right. You talking some stuff, bro. And you know, another thing that Doc said when Doc was talking about the same thing you talking about, and he said that when they was able on this type of system, they say you can't have the man now in order for you to get this from us. We become your man.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
When they was giving those women, especially in the inner cities, Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, Boston, Atlanta, Miami, New Orleans, they used to come in, the social services come in and say, if it's a man in the house, you can't get assistance. It's not going to happen. I remember my father came to visit us, and my mom was getting assistance in the 70s. And he fucked around and went off and left a pair of shoes. My mama had a fit. Because she knew that them people was coming. I was so glad when we got stable enough to not need them people coming around dipping their nose in our house.
Yes. So when you get assistance from the government, they pretty much tell you, like they became the father figure. And then not to mention they brought in crack cocaine into our communities, and that made it even worse. On top of the getting the fathers out the house, half of them went to to the crack, and that or the drugs or the liquor, whatever they had us on at the time. So that brings my next question. Now, based on what's going on now with do you got anything on? Because the federal workers were asking me, hey, when Rod come back on, ask him this. They said, should they take a deal? Now, I didn't get a chance to look up what deal they were talking about. They saying the federal workers finna get off of the deal, and they saying, should they take the
They
deal?
already started sending the letters out, and they're closing down anyway.
Okay.
They downsizing first.
Yeah, that's what she said. She said something about like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They laying people off.
Look, people got to know, they have to be smart enough and can understand their situation enough to know what decision to make.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I was surprised when there was no mention of a lump sum payment once the federal government get downsized coming back to those workers. Mm-hmm. But just like when they canceled the fiat, they attached a 20% interest rate on the people's return of their money for their fraudulent loans.
Dang.
Right. I don't know how far they go back. So far, I think they stopping at 1979 for foreclosures, for giving people back. So that's shit. What? 35 years? 36 years?
No, it's about like from 1979. You said?
Mm-hmm.
No, shit, that's more than that's about damn near 40 years almost. Maybe more than it. Well, shit, look, say 30, 25, boom. It'll be 22 plus, it'd be 20, 40, it'd be 46 years, 47 years. Yep.
So that's how far they got going back for that. From what I understand at this point, they might go back further later, but for the bank fraud foreclosures, they at least going back to 79.
That's gonna be a lot of money.
We took everything they had because they owed us everything and they couldn't pay it back.
That's right. That makes sense.
That's why you kept seeing all them trains full of UN confiscated materials. But they had to liquidate that stuff.
Right. That's right. Trump liquidating right now. He cracking out. He finding all the leaks. Because I see it seems like to me, based on me studying what his cabinet doing since they went in, they going out there seeing who are we paying. Let's see who are we paying. All right, so why are we paying this guy? Why are we paying that guy? That's kind of what they doing. Why are we paying this guy? You know, why are we paying these guys? And so I guess that brings my next question. Do you see the American economy? Because we know that the government has gone down. So what is the next thing after the government completely go out, switch over, however it go? What goes from there? Would it be a space of chaos where it's no order?
It's not just pure chaos. It's chaotic events.
Okay.
Like a Black Hawk helicopter flying into a passenger plane.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Chaotic events.
Okay.
Like mysterious fires in California. Chaotic events.
Yeah.
People driving down Bourbon Street shooting. Blowing up trucks in Las Vegas. Chaotic events. Kids, schools being shot up.
Right.
Right. Chaotic events. All these chaotic events is to make us be scared. The stuff for the school shootings is to try to force parents to shut the school system down because they're not safe.
Right.
Right. But somebody's baby's still getting hurt in them events. You understand what I'm saying, Elder? Somebody's babies is still getting hurt.
Right.
Just because they running these psyops don't mean people not getting hurt for real.
Right. Right.
Right. And whether it's Sandy Hooks, whether it's Oklahoma City, whether it's the World Trade Center, whether it's Trayvon Martin, it's people physically getting taken out of the game.
Right.
For them to keep us fearful. Right.
Psychological warfare, right?
Right. Because if they can kill them, if they can make enough people afraid of them, people not gonna resist their BS.
Right.
Right. So they need to instigate fear mongering through these chaotic events, these chaotic episodes. They know they lost. They know they leaving. They just trying to tear the house up on their way out.
Right. Somebody said, "Do you trust Trump?" And I think he already broke that down in so many ways. Do we trust Donald Trump?
Somebody just messaged me something similar in my I was checking some of my messages. I'm behind about 4 days. But somebody asked me about Trump. Look, I don't even know if Trump real. I never met the man. I never shook his hand. But whoever playing that character, whether he's a real person or not, don't matter to me. Because the work that's being done in our face is telling me this is our buck dancing right here.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
So while Agent Orange, that's his CIA code name for negotiation tactics and the negotiating of financial matters. That's his history. That's his record as a negotiator. He's Agent Orange. Why do they call him that? Ask a Vietnam vet to explain to you what Agent Orange does when they get on you.
Right.
Can't damn near get that shit off and stop it from burning. Yep. Right? So the Orange Man, I don't have to trust him. I just have to know that the work that he's taking the credit for, whether he's doing it or not, is the work of dismantling the corporation, because we have to first take down the corporation, restore the republic, then the republic restores the common law, and everything go back to tribal government.
The republic really is officially up right now since January, right? Like the republic is officially back up. Like once Trump took the apparent look of office, the republic really has never went down, really. But I'm saying it's back up. Like that's what Trump bringing back in he bringing back in the republic. Because we pledge allegiance to the United States of America for the republic for which it stands. Why didn't they say Democrat right there? Some other party. Huh?
The Democrat was part of the Republican Party at first.
Go ahead.
It was called the Democratic Republic Party. Right? And the reason they said they split, now listen to the wording, to maintain the appearance of an adversarial system. The Democratic Republicans had wiped out a whole bunch of the Native Party, the Whig Party,